Welcome to Child Protection Training. Brigham Young University is committed to maintaining a safe environment for children who participate in university-sponsored activities or visit its facilities. Whether you are a faculty member, an employee, or volunteer, child protection and safety is a responsibility we all share. This training will help you understand the role you play in keeping children safe from abuse. This training will emphasize parts of the BYU Child Protection Policy and includes 4 major topics: definitions, duty to report, standards of conduct, and general awareness. This training will take approximately 20 minutes. If at any time you wish to review a topic, select the Table of Contents TOC button on the bottom play bar. Quizzes, scenarios, and examples will help you learn your responsibilities. Please be prepared to answer the questions that will be asked in these sections. At the conclusion of the training, you will be asked to confirm that you understand the BYU Child Protection Policy and will comply with its duty to report and standards of conduct requirement. The protection of children from abuse is consistent with the teachings of the university's sponsor, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with the Church Educational System CES Honor Code, and with the applicable laws and regulations. The CES Honor Code requires university faculty members, employees, and students to abide by the standards of Christian living taught by the Church both on and off campus. In Utah, it is mandatory to report child abuse and child sexual abuse. No faculty member, staff employee, administrative employee, contractor, volunteer, or student shall be involved in the abuse of a child, whether on or off campus. Before we continue, it is important that you understand the terms that are often used when discussing child protection. Be sure that you understand each definition so that there will be no misunderstanding of your responsibilities in preventing or reporting child abuse. Abuse is the endangerment of a child's physical or mental health resulting from non-accidental harm of the child, threatening harm to the child, sexual exploitation, or sexual abuse. Abuse does not include reasonable discipline or management of a child, including withholding privileges or the use of reasonable and necessary physical restraint or force on a child to protect the child or others from harm. Adult means a person 18 years of age or older. Child, children, or minor are terms used interchangeably in this policy and mean any person under the age of 18. Responsible adult is a person 18 years of age or older who understands that he or she is responsible for the safety and activities of the minors within his or her care and who has completed this required child protection training. Sexual exploitation and sexual abuse are contacts or interactions between a child and an adult when the child is being used in any way for the sexual gratification of the adult. Sexual abuse includes an act or attempted act of any sexual activity. Sexual exploitation is knowingly using or influencing a child to engage in sexual activity, including viewing pornography, for the sexual arousal of any person or for the purpose of photographing or recording the activity. Sexual exploitation also includes displaying, distributing, selling, or possessing child pornography. Emotional abuse means engaging in conduct or threatening a child with conduct that can cause or is reasonably expected to cause emotional harm to a child. This includes, but is not limited to, demeaning remarks, derogatory remarks, threatening harm, rejecting, isolating, terrorizing, ignoring, or corrupting. Now that you are familiar with the basic terminology, let's turn our attention to helping you recognize potentially harmful situations, understand what BYU is doing to foster the safety of children on campus, and know who you should contact if you observe or are involved in a potentially harmful situation. The university is committed to maintaining a safe environment for all children on campus or who are participating in university-sponsored activities. Consistent with this objective and with Utah state law, university personnel have a duty to immediately report to the nearest peace officer, law enforcement agency, or applicable office of the State Division of Child and Family Services any situation, whether on or off campus, in which they have reason to believe that a child has been subjected to abuse or neglect, or observe a child being subjected to conditions or circumstances which would reasonably result in abuse or neglect. University policy also requires that incidents of sexual abuse or sexual exploitation be reported to the university's Title IX coordinator. Incidents of suspected abuse or neglect should also be reported to your supervisor. The confidentiality of the reporting party will be observed, provided that it does not interfere with the university's ability to investigate and take corrective action and is not prohibited by law. Retaliation against an individual who has filed a complaint of child abuse will be considered a violation of policy, and the retaliating person may be subject to sanction, including termination, suspension, dismissal, and/or ban from campus, depending on the circumstances and severity of the retaliation. Encouraging others to retaliate also violates this policy. University personnel or students who have knowledge of and fail to report or to cooperate in the investigation of complaints of child abuse may be subject to appropriate disciplinary action, up to and including termination of employment and dismissal from the university. To recap what you have learned in this section, you should make any report of suspected child abuse to the BYU police or to local law enforcement, then notify your immediate supervisor. A person does not need tangible proof of abuse to have a duty to report under Utah law. A duty arises when there is reason to believe abuse is occurring. To report incidents on the BYU campus, call the university police at 801-422-2222. Brigham Young University has established the following standards of conduct for their faculty, employees, and volunteers. The university discourages the presence of unescorted or unsupervised minors on campus. Adults who are involved with minors on campus or in university-sponsored activities shall adhere to the CES Honor Code. Adults who are involved with minors on campus or in university-sponsored activities shall not engage in abuse or other demeaning or disrespectful activities of any kind toward or in the presence of a minor, including sexual exploitation, sexual abuse, hazing, or bullying in any form, whether by means of text messages, email, online forums, social networking sites, direct physical contact, or any other method. Adults who are involved with minors on campus or in university-sponsored activities shall not strike, hit, administer corporal punishment to, or touch any minor in an abusive or illegal manner. Adults who are involved with minors on campus or in university-sponsored activities should avoid one-on-one contact with minors. Adults who are involved with minors on campus or in university-sponsored activities shall not assist minors in accessing pornography or make any form of pornography available to them. Minors shall not participate in overnight university-sponsored activities unless one of the minor's parents or legal guardians has given consent. Adults on campus or who are involved in university-sponsored activities may not enter areas where they would be alone with a minor who is showering or bathing. In emergency situations, responsible adults may enter the area for purposes of the emergency only. Adults who are involved with minors on campus or in university-sponsored activities shall not transport minors in a personal vehicle unless the minors are relatives of the adult. Transportation of minors in university vehicles during a university-sponsored program is permitted if at least 3 people are present in the vehicle at all times during transportation of the minors. All university-sponsored programs involving or with the potential to involve minors must be sponsored by a unit of the university and must adhere to the standards of conduct. Any contracts with non-university entities for programs or services that involve minors must include a provision that requires personnel to comply with the standards of conduct in this policy. Most of the programs on campus are designed for adults. However, BYU has many programs for children, like sports camps, child care, research programs, church activities, and enrichment programs. In addition, our faculty, staff, and students may interact with minors as part of academic course or program assignments. These include internships, tutoring, service projects, volunteering, competitive judging, and many other activities. Examples of inappropriate behavior are using alcohol or drugs in front of a child or in a child's presence, or enabling a child to use alcohol or drugs. Other examples of inappropriate behaviors are neglecting the basic safety of a child. Individuals who manage programs for children or who are in other ways responsible for children as part of a BYU program must ensure the children are appropriately supervised. The level of supervision often depends on the age of the child. For example, closer supervision would be required for a group of 7-year-olds than for a group of adolescents. You have the right to limit the participation in any activities that are inappropriate or unsafe due to age. Individuals in charge of programs must also ensure protective equipment is provided and used by children to safeguard their health. This could include safety equipment or safety glasses in the lab. Ensuring child safety is not just the right thing to do, it is legally required. Most people's natural response is to protect children. In this next section, you will be provided with 5 scenarios, followed by a series of questions to determine what choices you would make. This training is an opportunity for you to test choices you would make in similar, real-life circumstances. In summary, children deserve a safe childhood. The protection of children from abuse is consistent with the teachings of the university's sponsor, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with the Church Educational System CES Honor Code, and with applicable laws and regulations. Remember, BYU is committed to maintaining a safe environment for children who participate in university-sponsored activities or visit its facilities. If you have questions about the child abuse or neglect report obligation, including how to make a report or questions about any other provision of this policy, please call the university's Office of the General Counsel at 801-422-3089. Read this statement and then click Yes to confirm your understanding of and compliance with the Child Protection Policy. I understand the BYU University Child Protection Policy contained in this training. I will comply with this policy's conduct and reporting requirements. Here's your score. If you access this lesson through Y-Train, the BYU Employee or Volunteer Child Protection Attestation Form will be automatically emailed to you and your training completion documented in Y-Train. Thank you. You have completed this training.